Hey everybody, make sure you tune in this Sunday. Why?
It's our 200th episode.
What? Already?
Where did the time go?
I know. Make sure you're here.
Yeah, because we're doing a special 200th episode. Yeah. So make sure you tune in Sunday. We hope to see you then. But until then, let's do this one right now. Go. Natasha.
Debbie.
Show.
The show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
So before we get into today's video, I want to say thank you to everyone that has wished me a birthday wish. This is actually our first video back since we pre-recorded
we
before my birthday.
All of last week's video.
Yes.
So we could have some time.
So we could have some time off.
This past week, yeah.
So I just want to take a minute to say thank you to everyone that gave me birthday wishes, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, Patreon. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you all too for being so kind, both of us, but especially to my beautiful wife here and all that.
Thank you.
Well, you guys have been so awesome and nice to us. So thank you so much. We've missed you. We've missed you because we did pre-record for like a week and a half. So we're back, and Debbie's older now. But
don't tell anybody.
Sexier than ever before.
Oh, thank you.
She's like a fine wine. Anyway, hi, welcome to the Natasha and Debbie Show. Today we're going to cover something that we realized we haven't, right? Because that's usually how that works. And this one is the British plugs. Yeah,
and we know there's a video going around that most people have done, but we found one that's a little bit newer, so hopefully
you guys know we're not going to do the same.
This one before.
Yeah, you know we're not going to do the same video everybody else does. So this isn't the same video that's been floating around for like the last couple of years. But before we get into it, if you like the content, guys, please hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe, you can, but consider it first. Think about it, mull it over. You know, call a friend.
Make sure you want to do it.
It's a commitment, right? But we'd appreciate it. But yeah, so this is a different video, but this is up Debbie's alley. This is her thing. This is her genre.
Yes, I like to do stuff around the house, little DIY stuff. So I am interested to get more information on this. We really don't know anything.
Yeah, one of the very first items we ever received in our P.O. box was one of the plugs, which we can't do anything with here, obviously. And it's monstrously big compared to...
Yeah, our little baby plug.
Size matters. No, it doesn't. Anyway, we're going to dive into this video and learn about, this one's called British Plugs and Outlets Are on Another Level. All we know about them is higher voltage.
Yes.
And there's a switch.
Yep.
And this thing's bigger than, mine is bigger than yours. Let's learn about them.
British AC plugs and sockets are very different from a lot of the other plugs and socket sets around the world, and they're super different than what we're used to here in North America. In fact, holding these two next to each other, these British ones seem absolutely mammoth. But I'm going to cover 10 reasons why I think this plug and this socket may just be the best design set in the entire world, as well as a handful of reasons why I think they might not be. Feature number 10 on our list is this longer ground pin. Now, long ground pins are actually super common. We see them in our US plugs and in other plugs all over the world, but this is quite different actually. It serves a purpose in an overall safety system on these types of plugs. By the way, these are called Type G, and the Type G here has this longer pin because as you insert it, and by the way, across the pond there, they call this an earth pin. So as you insert the earth pin, you'll notice that the first thing that touches is that earth pin because it's longer. So the neutral and the live haven't made contact yet, but there's actually what's called a shutter system inside here that it's opening up by pushing that one in first. So just now, as I got it that far, it opened up the shutters, and then I can proceed to plug it all the way in. And
I'm pretty impressed already.
I am too.
Genius.
I don't have an outlet to do anything, not that I have a cord for this, but...
No, but that's pretty genius.
That's freaking cool.
I like that.
Me too.
Till I do that, these are actually closed off. Obviously, never stick anything into an outlet. Now, this may be telling about me, I don't know, but literally one of the earliest memories I have in life is when I was super little, maybe 3 or 4, and I stuck something into an outlet, got completely shocked, and I remember looking at the outlet after this had happened and seeing these black scorch marks all over it. But kids in the UK most likely haven't had that experience. Feature number 9 is that when we insert the earth pin and clear those shutters, the only thing that's exposed on the live and the neutral is actually this black section here. If you're wondering what that is, that's actually a bit of insulation, and it's 9 millimeters up these pins here. So that's because once you have some contact with the live and the neutral to your receptacle, it makes it so that you can't touch anything that's live at that point. Check it out. So if I get this part of the way in there, and it's actually touching, now the only thing that's exposed is just the insulated area, which is not conductive. So I might be able to touch that and actually be safe, and that's the idea anyway. Obviously, you should never try that, but they make it really difficult to get yourself shocked because everything is covered and protected as part of this overall safety system.
That is super cool. I didn't even notice that before.
I didn't notice
you said anything.
That is
I wasn't
really
even paying attention that the black's there. And it is like covered with something. It's not that.
Yeah. That's nothing like, where's ours at? Down there? We don't got that. We don't got that at all. That is...
No, ours are just, you know, rare.
Now, we do have 3 prongs as well. This is just not... That's not one. I think you guys can count. This is really freaking fascinating. Okay.
System. Feature number 8 has everything to do with how the cord comes out of the plug itself. As I plug this into the wall outlet here, you'll notice that it's always coming down on the bottom like this. And that makes it so that you can't really pull this thing out. If you pull this way with it, it's just going to stay in place. And even if you pull out this way, you can pull this pretty good. And it's...
All right, United Kingdom. You little smarty pantses.
That's pretty genius.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. I have, especially like with certain things, I have a bad habit of doing that. I've gotten better. Yeah, so exactly. Oh, do that again. Be my outlet. Be my outlet. So Debbie's the outlet, and then I'll walk by something and be like, which...
Not smart. Not safe. Not safe.
I don't really do that anymore. Huh. I like this video. This is interesting. This is cool, and I'm nerding out.
It's really not going anywhere. It's a really smart feature. Now this has come loose a little bit, but a lot less than it would if the cord were coming out of the face of the plug.
Okay.
Speaking of plugs being ripped out of the wall, that brings us to feature number 7.
Talk to me.
If we open this up and take a look inside here,
I'm not doing that to this one.
You'll actually see that there's some pretty cool safety features built right inside. The first thing you might notice is there is built-in strain relief right here. And the cool thing is you can actually remove these little fins in many cases to replace this cord if you need to or to work on it. The next thing is the short cable in here, this brown one, that's your live cable. And this live wire right here is the shortest one and the straightest one, so that as you pull this cord out, if it gets ripped out specifically, that one is going to be the first one to disconnect, cutting the electricity to the rest of this. The second one is this blue or the neutral one here that's underneath, and that will get pulled out next. And at that point, you have no electricity connected, just your ground. I think it's pretty brilliant that there's extra slack built into the ground. There's very little, but a little bit of slack built into the neutral, and no slack built into the live, so that if this gets ripped out, it pulls the electricity first, again, keeping the user safe. While we're looking at the open plug, that brings...
That's pretty genius.
You're nerding out over this, aren't you?
I am. I'm like, just to have the first wire that's going to disconnect me in the live wire. I mean,
makes sense. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, brilliant.
Love it. Love this video.
Brings us to feature 6, which is the fact that these Type G plugs can actually be opened up just about any time you need to by removing one or more screws. Now Type G, just so you know, is not just used in the UK. They're actually all over the place and pretty much anywhere the UK has had some major influence. So for example, they're used in Ireland, the United Arab Emirates, Singapore, Hong Kong, Beijing, Indonesia, parts of India, and even several other countries. So those are very different from the Type A and Type B that we use here in North America. The Type A is the 2-prong here, and the Type B is the 3-prong, which includes the ground pin. And these guys don't have any way to service anything in here. All of this is completely sealed off. It's completely...
America has not been servicing me, but I'll tell you right now, UK, I'm turned on. No? I'm sorry. Back to the video.
Don't have any way to service anything in here. All of this is completely sealed off. It's completely solid, and there's no way to do anything to fix this if this starts to become broken or frayed.
You throw it away and get a new
Your options are to toss it, which is what most people do, and get a new one, or you can cut it off and use a replacement plug.
No,
I've got a video showing how to do that, but it's nice that with the Type G plugs here, it's just a built-in feature to be able to fix these or adjust these if need be. You most likely noticed the fuse inside the plug itself here.
Yes, I did.
We see this from time to time in North American plugs, but is definitely not a standard. Having a fuse in every plug is actually essential to the system they use, which is called a ring circuit. A ring circuit has the ground, neutral, and live wires going out from the source location and then feeding every single socket and then looping all the way back to the source. This is different than the radial circuits that we use here in North America. We start at the circuit breaker panel, and then a line goes out called a home run, connects to as many outlets as we need or receptacles, and then it ends at a light fixture or an outlet. In the UK, the ring circuit actually acts like two separate radial circuits going at the same time, one in each direction. As a result, having a fuse on every appliance means that if there's a short or an overload in an appliance, the fuse in the plug can blow rather than tripping the whole circuit and everything else on it.
What? Why don't we have these?
I know.
What?
That's a very good feature. Otherwise, you're running around trying to figure out what the heck is wrong.
Oh my gosh, these are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty genius.
These fuses are typically pretty easy to replace, and they cost next to nothing as well.
I was gonna ask.
For a plug like this, you do have to take it apart to access that plug, but it's usually just one screw like we saw. But a lot of plugs actually come with a little access panel that you can get without removing any screws to make it even easier.
Shut up.
Number 4 on our list is the robustness of these pins, which are so good at carrying a large load. Now these pins are pretty massive. You may have noticed that. They're actually all 4 millimeters thick on these Type Gs. This is 8 millimeters thick, and then these neutral and lives are about 6.35 millimeters. When I hold this side by side next to our Type B, you can see the difference. The result of this is that the Type G has at least 50% more metal than a Type B, and it actually has 3.5 times more metal than the Type A that doesn't have the ground. Feature number 3 is the fact that every Type G plug has a ground or an earth pin. This is really important for a handful of reasons. As far as safety is concerned, always having a ground means that you're not going to experience the arcing, or at least you shouldn't in most circumstances experience any arcing. Arcing is bad news because that basically means that electricity has gone off the rails and it's going to find the path of least resistance, and a lot of times that's through you. That could shock you, or with enough voltage that could stop your heart and kill you. So very dangerous if you don't have that ground in place at all times.
Okay, question. I electrocuted myself once. Who's surprised? None of y'all. I don't know if it would happen with this or not. So if the cable, like we'll call it the cable, right? It comes, you know, the thing that goes in the hole. If that's like messed up or like chewed, I had a dog when I was a kid. He chewed that, right? And I plugged that one in when you have it in your hand, and bzz, you know, got me good. That was bad. Would that still be on or off? Would that trip the?
It would probably end up tripping the fuse.
That's what I was going to ask. Trip the fuse.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it would probably end up tripping the fuse. Would be my guess on that.
Okay.
Which is good because they have stronger electric over there.
Yeah.
Than what we have here. Typically.
Okay, this is just so cool. This is so cool.
You will notice on some plugs in the UK, for example, that these are just plastic. Typically, if you see a plastic pin on here, that means the appliance is double grounded. You can tell by a marking or an icon on the appliance that is a square within a square. It also serves the purpose of not only opening the shutters, but also always keeps things aligned. You cannot mix up the live and the neutral if your ground is always at that top place. Number 2 is the fact that every outlet or receptacle has its own switch. So check this out. I've got this little switch right here that I can use to control this lamp. Of course, you can control the lamp on the device itself, but this comes in handy for multiple purposes. Number 1, it gives you an extra place to turn something on or off, and along with that, it cuts the power completely to the device. There's a lot of devices and appliances out there that are using a trickle amount of energy at all times, even when it's powered off. So by switching it off at the receptacle here, you're taking care of that issue.
Okay, and this is what I did know. This is the one thing I did know, and I love this. This is when I found that out, I'm like, this is stupid. We need these here.
Yes.
Because, Debbie, I'll tell you, I have an obsession with, I don't let anything stay plugged into the house.
No. Nothing ever stays plugged in.
No, because...
unless it's like a major appliance or the computer. But anytime you're using a curling iron,
phone charger especially.
Phone charger for sure, toaster,
any of that.
Anything in the kitchen. The laptops, don't leave them plugged in.
Yeah, no. But there's 2 reasons why. Number 1, safety. 2, because it does, in fact, still charge us money for our electric bill.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Yep. We know that it still charges a little bit of money. Comes out of that. So you can actually save a lot of money by unplugging everything here. Okay. We don't have the ability to hit a switch like that and cut the electric. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes.
Now, even if we had it, though, I think because of living here all my life, I would probably still unplug it because I wouldn't feel like it was really off.
Yep.
But I think that's so cool. That's the thing I love. This is so neat.
One on our list, and honestly, these were pretty tricky to put in any particular order, so take that for what it's worth. But is the fact that all of these outlets and plugs run off of 230 volts.
Yeah.
Here in the US, we use a 110 or 120 volt system. There's different names for it, but it's the same idea. And in the UK, for example, and in most of the world actually, it's a 230, which is anywhere from 220 to 240 volts typically. Running on 230 volts has a lot of impact on how you can use the outlets and receptacles around your house. So for example, if you want to plug a lamp into this, no problem obviously, but you can even plug a much larger appliance over here. Let's say a washing machine, for example, something a little more power hungry. Space heaters have been a big issue for tripping circuit breakers here in the US.
Yes.
On 230 volt, they can handle that a lot better.
Yep.
You can even plug in things like a hairdryer and an iron at the same time in many cases, especially if the gauging of the wire in the walls is appropriate for that kind of use.
Yeah, because before he goes with his negatives, I plugged a space heater here in the office into my power strip that my computer is plugged into, and well, my computer went... It didn't break it. It didn't die. No. It turned off because it was a power surge a bit.
Took the breaker.
And I was like, oh, crap. That sucked. Yeah. But that is very interesting to find out that you can do that, too. Mm-hmm. This is just fascinating. And I'm really jealous right now. Yeah, I really want to go, like, have a word with Congress, pass something, get us these.
I mean, it's such a good design. I mean, so much safety just in the plug itself. I mean,
it's just much more intelligent.
Yeah.
It's just smart. Okay, he says it's not all roses. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think it is. Let's find out.
You can see with these 10 features how impressive this setup is, but that is not to say that it doesn't have its flaws. For starters, look at the size of these things. I mean, this is a standard Type A. This is what we use for most things in the United States and in North America. I'd seriously say this is probably at least 5 times as big. You can see it from the front. You can see it from the side.
It's like a mini computer inside.
Another consideration with this is that the ring circuits that are used in the UK and elsewhere have a problem with what's called load balancing. Now, many times it's not really a big issue, but what it means is that you don't want to have a lot of your power being consumed on one portion of the ring. You want to distribute that throughout the ring as much as possible, because if you don't, you're actually forcing a lot of electricity, a lot of load to happen in a short distance of these wires. And these wires typically tend to be a thinner gauge, which is part of the beauty of the system. It takes up less copper, but the load balancing can be an issue in many cases.
How?
I don't know. He said it's not usually an issue.
That sounds like such a nitpicky thing.
Doesn't sound like something to be that...
That sounds so nitpicky that I would say that is not a negative whatsoever. Yeah. Sorry, it's just my opinion.
On that note, installing or maintaining or even testing a ring circuit is a lot more difficult than a radial circuit. So that's something to be considered with the overall system in general.
I think that's nitpicky.
The switches that we showed earlier on the socket here are a good thing in some cases, but they're a bad thing in other cases.
Leave my switches
alone.
So
for example, let's say this light is not turning on. You flip the switch. So let's turn this off, on the socket here. We flip the switch, everything seems to be dead. You're not sure what's going on. And at that point, you're not sure if you need to start troubleshooting the lamp itself, or if it's the light bulb, or if it's the socket. Lastly, due to the design of the...
No, I'm sorry. I'm like complaining now, because that was stupid.
It'd take a couple more seconds to figure it out.
Okay, you just got just flip the switch, and then turn on the light. Light didn't work. Yep. Okay, flip the switch the other way.
And then you try the light.
Turn the light back on.
And then you try a light.
Sorry, I don't like the negative stuff further.
It's okay.
He's making me... Don't go out for my switches.
Plug. If you were to just let this thing fall somewhere or unplug it, guess how it's going to land? Every single time.
Well, that would hurt.
Now, if you thought waking up in the middle of the night, walking through the house, and stepping on a Lego was painful...
That would... Oh, that's the end of the video. That part, I'm not going to lie. That last one would suck.
Yeah, I mean, these hurt to step on, but... kind of flat. It's not going to
gonna say I have stepped on those before, and I've never stepped on it.
Yeah.
That's the only negative I'd agree with, but really not in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
Really.
One other thing he didn't mention that I noticed as a positive, and it's about the plug fitting flat. So, if I can, you got this plugged into the wall, and your cord comes down the bottom.
Or mine's this way.
So, Natasha knows I like to put things, put the couch up there.
That's a good one.
And you can't do that with those because then you're bending your cord and
did you guys get that
sticking out? You want to put a dresser up against.
Yeah, so if you have like a piece of furniture, like we have outlets behind.
You can do it here.
Yeah, we have like an outlet behind our sofa, and sometimes.
Yeah, you got to leave the sofa stick out another 3 inches.
Yeah, you do because these things are a little bit rigid sometimes. They'll stick out a bit.
Yep.
That's good.
And then you don't have to like bend in your cord to.
Yeah, because that's not good for the electrical cord either. So, doing that.
That's another positive. That I really like these. These are.
I'm obsessed with these.
From what I've seen, pretty genius. I like the idea of it that you can just unhook it and.
I used to like these, and now I'm like. This compared to this. Junk.
Yep.
It's junk.
Yep.
It's crap. This is old school. This is
old
school, and it needs to go away.
Yeah.
And why are we sticking with this? Why?
I have no idea.
I mean, seriously, there's nothing special here. This is like a little mini computer with safety features, and it's just really freaking.
It's like a smart plug.
I can't think of a negative except for the stepping on it part. But again, I don't. I mean, I would be the one that would do that.
Careful when you unplug stuff and set it to the side. That was just brilliant. I love the design of it. I'm glad he covered everything.
Well, I don't think he covered everything.
Well, I mean, as much as he did, I like what he covered. It was pretty in depth there, and I really like that.
Who knew a freaking outlet and plug would be so exciting?
I know.
And make us so happy. But I'm also depressed because again, don't have it. Don't know why. I'm gonna write our governor a letter.
We need those.
We do need these, but I think they're fascinating. This sucks.
We need an upgrade.
Hey, again, United Kingdom, you guys are awesome. This was great. I love this video. Hope you guys did too. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on this video. And if you learned anything from this that you didn't already know, I bet you didn't. But thought that was just super neat. I don't know if that guy's an electrician. I don't know what his deal is. I know nothing about him. But if he missed anything, let us know because we're really interested in these. They're just so cool. But thank you for watching. Don't forget, Sunday is our 200th episode somehow.
It's time already.
You don't look old enough to have a 200th episode. That's like saying you have a 20-year-old kid.
I know we're not 200 episodes old.
Apparently we are. But we're doing something special for Sunday, so we hope that you'll tune into that. And again, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you want to, not just because we asked. I hope you guys like this.
I hope you did too. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
We're going to go talk about this for a while now and take it apart and play with it. Thank you guys so much. We'll hopefully see you on Sunday on our 200th episode. Until then, please, love like Jazz.
Be as strong as Tyson.
Bye, guys.
Bye.